Why don't we get ourselves started here?
Very good. Well, I want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us in the spirit of perfect harmony. We are the Center for Spiritual Living West Georgia. We study and practice the philosophy and science of the mind we know as God. And with our spiritual presence and our participation in our service here this morning, we create a higher state of consciousness, rise above any negative energy we may have experienced this past week, and manifest love. Our excellent to outstanding master teacher, Reverend Dr. Sandra Jackson, will now proceed with our service.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning again, everybody. Let us begin with creating ourselves in a unified field of consciousness. And if you just simply sit back in your chairs, close your eyes, if it feels comfortable to you, and take a deep breath. Breathe deep and release it, letting go, relaxing with each breath. The breath brings us into the now moment. It unifies us with the wholeness and the energy of life that we are. So we just simply breathe right now. And we begin this morning by giving thanks for that breath. Giving thanks for the breath that we breathe, and that breath that represents the life force within us. If we ever forget it, all we have to do is breathe and remember who we are. We are spirit. We're spirit expressing ourselves in a physical form so that we can walk the earth, so that we can love and be loved, that we can share, that we can enjoy, that we can experience beauty and all the goodness that life has to bring for us. And so this morning we are open and grateful. We are oozing with gratitude and thanksgiving for the life that we live, for the joy that it brings us. And we allow that which we are experiencing ourselves to extend to everyone in our meeting today and everyone in our world. For we know that each person is like we are, one with the infinite presence of God, regardless of who they are or where they may be, or the life that they may be living. We are here and now grateful for being who we are, for the consciousness that we have, and for raising the consciousness of all because of the work that we are doing. And so we gratefully begin this morning service knowing that this is the truth of who we are, that we stand in this truth, that we are this truth, and we express it with our every thought, word, and activity. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so let's see. Marsha, are you our tech person today? Are you our techie?
I am. One second. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure of reading our vision and mission statement this morning. CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. And our declaration of principles are, I believe in the unity of all life, and the highest God and the innermost God is one God. There is one life of which I am a part, one intelligence which I use, and one substance which takes form as my life. And so it is.
So it is. And good morning, Cynthia. I see she's preparing her throat. Okay. So Cynthia is our musician this morning. Good morning, Cynthia. Take one more sip. Yeah, there we go. You're muted. Yeah.
That won't work, will it? I'm going to do a song for you this morning off my latest CD called I Love My Life. It's a song called One Creator, and it's one of my favorite philosophies. So I hope you enjoy it. Divine love can change you. Open and heal your heart. Banish and conquer pain that tears you apart. There's one creator known by many names. Different pathways, they lead to the same. So whatever your question, whatever you find, know your Creator offers love that's divine. And let their love in. Let their love in. Divine love matters. It gathers and scatters your fears. Like a hand from beyond, lovingly dries your tears. There's one Creator known by many names. Different pathways all lead to the same. So whatever your passion, whatever you find, know your Creator offers love that's divine. And let their love in. Let their love in. Trusting yourself can be the biggest leap of all. With your broken wings, you wanna fly. You're afraid you'll fall. All of creation's beside you to guide you all the way. Open your heart to the love that's on the way. Divine love can take you places that you've never dreamed. In this lifetime of shadows, love is the one bright beam. There's one Creator known by many names. Different pathways, they lead to the same. So whatever your question, whatever you find, know your Creator offers love that's divine. And let their love in. Let their love in. Let that love in. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you have to let love in, don't you? Yep.
Yep.
You have to give it permission. Thank you so much for reminding us. Appreciate that. Okay, Mark. Well, Connie's back. Welcome, Connie.
Yeah.
She was on vacation. Okay, so let's see. Marty is reading for us today, and for those of you who didn't know it, it's Halloween.
Aha.
It is Halloween, and so um, it's another day too. The in Mexico they celebrate, and throughout Latin America they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I thought it'd be nice to hear how somebody, how they get celebrated in Mexico. So that's what Marty's going to read about today. All right, Marty.
You're muted, Marty.
Okay. Takes two. Barb's helping. Light envelops the foyer inside Alfonso Lopez Fertor's home in Guadalajara, Mexico, filling the space with a warm, welcoming glow. Inside, he has set up an elaborate altar in preparation for a Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, a multi-day holiday celebrated throughout Mexico and parts of Latin America that honors loved ones who have died. While many people might view death as a time filled with sadness and grief, for 30-year-old Lopez Fertor, it's a moment for celebration. Every year for the past 4 years, he has created an altar inside his home to celebrate and remember the lives of friends and relatives who have passed. As he shows me the altar, which he and his roommate have decorated with bright orange marigolds, painted skulls, flickering candles, bottles of tequila, and colorful paper cutouts, he points out photographs of his grandfather, grandmother, and family friends who are no longer with us. It's really important to my family and I that we make an altar to remember relatives who have died, Lopez Fertor says. I remember as a child, every year my mom would make an altar. So when I started living alone a few years ago, I wanted to do the same thing. The creation of altars has been an important part of Dia de los Muertos, a festival whose origins are deeply rooted in Aztec beliefs and tied to the goddess Mictequacihuatl, also known as Lady of the Dead. Over the centuries, the holiday became more intertwined with Catholic traditions and shortened from a month-long event to a celebration that's held in Mexico on November 1st, All Saints' Day, which celebrates the children who have died, and November 2nd, All Souls' Day, which celebrates adults. Like many holidays, modern observances of Dia de los Muertos have evolved over time. Not too long ago, creating altars was something predominantly done by older members of the community. However, Lopez Fertor says that he's noticing members of the younger generation, including himself, are taking part to help keep the tradition alive. It's an important part of my culture, and I wanted a way to remember family members and friends who are no longer with us, he says. I recommend for anyone who has ever lost someone to create an altar. This isn't a time for sadness, it's a time for celebration. How do I mute me?
Thank you, Marty. That's, yeah. I think many of us come from traditions that, celebrate the passing, the dead, those who have left our lives. And sometimes we don't give ourselves time to grieve properly and to acknowledge and to honor them. And especially since so many of us have moved away from where our relatives may be buried. And so we don't necessarily do that. But here's an opportunity to borrow somebody else's tradition and honor your own family members by building an altar. All y'all need is a little space on a table, really, and put things that are meaningful, maybe their picture and things like that. So this Sunday is October 31st. It's the last Sunday of October. And guess what? Well, I haven't counted them, but I'm sure somebody knows how many days it is till Christmas. I've already seen ads for Black Friday. So we are on to the next whatever, aren't we? Anyway, I want us to just today pause and just be here today, October 31st, the last day of October 2021. And I have a question for you. If you have a pen and paper, you might want to write this down, because it's not a question that you're going to be able to answer like once. It's something that is an ongoing kind of question. And that question is, what would your life look like if you truly trusted the universe? What would your life look like if you truly trusted the universe? Now, you can call the universe God. What would it be like if you truly trusted God? Or what would your life be if you truly trusted spirit? Whatever name you use for the source of your life. So before you say, I trust the universe, think about it. Think about it. In the science of mind, we have both a religion and a philosophy. In a religion, the root definition, where it comes from, the Latin, is a respect for what is sacred and what is revered for the gods. It is about conscientiousness and having a sense of right and moral obligation. Philosophy, on the other hand, is a study of the fundamentals of nature, of knowledge, of reality and existence. So you see, you have in science of mind, you have both religion and we have philosophy. And here's the thing, we can get caught up in the religion and the philosophy and not have it be truly something that we live in our lives. Stop and think about it. You have knowledge. You read the science of mind, you read the Bible, you read whatever spiritual text you want to, right? And by the way, dogma is not a part of religion. Okay? Dogma is what churches do to get people to adhere to the ideas that they want them to adhere to. And I think originally, I haven't looked this up, but I would just guess and imagine, I will use my imagination for this, that initially these things were helping you to move along the path of your spiritual evolution. But then they became indoctrinated with the politics of churches, of organizations, and they became dogmas and things that you needed to do. For instance, the sacrament of marriage, or the confessional that Catholics have. Confession is a great practice, really, because what it does is it helps you, to notice what it is you're doing wrong and to forgive. But if it's used in a way that says you have to come to confession every Friday, or you have to do it in this way, that becomes the dogma and that becomes the problem. Do you see? So initially, it may very well have been, a practice of how people, how you let go of the past, how you moved on. What do we teach about forgiveness today? We teach that that we forgive, not for the other person, but for ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, to heal ourselves, to move forward in our own lives, right? But it becomes dogma when the church says you have to do it, and you have to do it in this way. So the science of mind doesn't give you any of that. It leaves you totally and completely alone. It says, in fact, practice this and see if it works for you. And so science of mind, while it's a religion, it is also, and gives you guidance in terms of, the direction in which you can go to help you live a more productive, joyful, happy, beautiful, loving, prosperous, abundant life. At the same time, it doesn't say you have to do it this way. It encourages you to meditate. Why? Because meditation supports your spiritual evolvement. But it doesn't say you have to meditate and this is the practice that you use in order to meditate. Do you get what I'm saying? So what that does is it leaves the door wide open. So when you're asked the question, what would your life look like if you truly trusted the universe? Sometimes we don't know how to answer that. We don't know what it looks like when we're truly trusting the universe. So here's the thing. You can study, you can learn, you can walk around with a lot of book knowledge. You can quote chapter and verse from the Science of Mind text, or from the Bible for that matter, or from any other spiritual sacred book. However, if you're not living it, if it's not being experienced in your life, all it is knowledge. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So I ask you again, what would your life look like if you truly trusted the universe? Mary O'Malley, in her book, wrote, opening to life brings you into full engagement with what is happening, rather than keeping you in a conversation about life. Think about that. Opening, being open to life. When she used life, she's using a capital L. So she's talking about, she could be saying, opening to the universe brings you into full engagement with what is happening, rather than keeping you in conversation about the universe. You see? So if we are going to be living a life, if we're going to be really practicing the science of mind, then our lives need to be changing. We need to be transforming. We need to be evolving. And that's what this whole year of talks has been about evolving ourselves from who we were last year to who we can be, who we want to be, who we can evolve into being. I hope that you are not the person that you were in January of 2021. You should not be. You should be somebody different. Why? Because if you have been practicing, if you've been living your life, if you've been learning little by little to trust the universe more and more and more, you will change. So today we have actually this few days from October 31st to, later in the week around the 4th or 5th, something like that. You have 3 holidays, okay, or 3 celebrations. One is the one Marty was talking about just now, Dia de los Muertos, which is tomorrow, with November 1st and 2nd. And Halloween, of course, is today. And then Diwali, which is a Hindu celebration, is mostly centered in India, but it started with the Hindus, but the Buddhists, the Jains, the Sikhs, everybody, they all use it now. They all celebrate it. And so let me just tell you a little bit about those holidays, because they are really, it's really interesting that all of this comes at this time of year. You know why? Because it's the changing of the seasons. And they're based on, well, we would call pagan, I would say pre-religious, pre-organized religion, at any rate, in ancient times, people depended on nature. They depended on the cycles of the year. And so Halloween came at the end of the summer harvest. And it was, for them, they felt it was like the veil between the worlds kind of dimmed. And because what was happening, the light was becoming more and more diminished, and we were getting more and more darkness. Okay, for us, we are modern, so we have daylight savings time, and we alter stuff like that. And by the way, next weekend is the first Sunday in November, and daylight savings time goes away at that time. Just a little side there. At any rate, the thing is that Halloween was celebrated on around October 31st, and it started with the Celtics. And they had a tradition, a festival tradition that they called Sohan. And when the people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts, notice that they lit bonfires. What are you doing with bonfires? You're creating light, right? So they're creating light to ward off ghosts. In the 8th century, then Pope Gregory designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. And soon All Saints Day became incorporated with some of the Celtics traditions. And so the evening before All Saints Days was what? All Hallows Eve, Halloween. So our Halloween actually was All Hallows Eve. And then you remember the Dia de los Muertos, right? Is a combination of the Aztec traditions as well as the Catholic All Saints Day. Okay, so the All Saints Day is the Dia de los Muertos. They've all kind of been rolled in together. And what is that about? It's about light. Once again, it's about recognizing that the dead are, I think this is just me, just is my thought right now, actually. And it is that we have gotten away from realizing that there is not a big difference, that it's a difference in consciousness, that there are those who are spirits in body and spirits that are not in body. And I think in ancient time, people believed, that you just didn't have a body, but you continued to be spirits. They talked to people who were dead. Okay. I know people today who still talk to their dead relatives. Don't you? So there is somewhere in us that we know, there's a consciousness within us that we know that dead people aren't really dead, that there's still a consciousness there that we can connect to. And these ceremonies and celebrations from quote unquote primitive people, they knew that, they understood it, and they had a sense of closeness, and they celebrated. They wanted to remember who those people were, and they recognized that they were still part of their lives. And we today, through epigenetics, are finding out that just through our gene pool and through our DNA, we're connected with previous generations of people who have lived. It's just, I don't know. There's just so much to think about. But we can't just think about it. It has to somehow affect us in our lives. It has to, it's one thing to just know this stuff. It's another thing to say, I know unequivocally that energy never dies, that spirit is. It is the source of all. And so therefore, whether somebody is in a body like we are, or they're out of a body like our dead relatives, that they still are the energy that is alive somewhere, because energy never dies. And so these holidays, this time of year, is celebrating that sense of connection with the past that was in form that is no longer in form. I just want to take a moment. When my sister passed away, it's been 40 years ago now. She was 24. She had a brain tumor and she passed away Dr. Robert Scott did her memorial story. He was the minister for the Religious Science Church, who I subsequently wound up studying with. And he came to my mom's house afterwards. We had the service, and then we went back to my mother's house, and he came. She invited him, and he came, which he didn't have to. He had just met us. He could have just done the service and left, but he came to the house, and he was sitting out in the patio with somebody or another, because this was September. And see, we were telling, he asked about, my sister, and we were telling him, my mother and I were telling him, and we were telling him, how her challenges with cancer, because she got cancer when she was 19, and she should have had her leg amputated, but they didn't amputate her leg. They thought they could just take out a portion of it. Anyway, the point is that 5 years later, the cancer came back, and she had a brain tumor, and she passed away. So we were telling him that, her leg was amputated. He goes like, really? And so we said, yeah. And he said, well, she's fine now, because she's dancing around. And, he was one who sensed people. Apparently, he sensed that energy that I could not. Well, I that's a whole nother story. But he sensed her energy in such a way that he recognized and realized that she was still dancing, that she was happy. And knowing my sister and the few months that we spent together before she passed away, I'm sure she was happy. I'm sure she was happy to be passed on. She was like, I'm done with this life. There's nothing that I want to do here. And I cried with her, and I think she cried because I was crying. But it was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't need to be here anymore. Whatever I came here to do, I'm finished. And so she left, and yet at the same time, we go through this struggle of missing people, right? So on the one hand, we miss them because we're not having the kind of historical experience that we have with them. And yet we have to know. And this is where, trusting the part of the answering to the question, what would your life look like if you really trusted the universe? If you really trusted the universe, then you would know that whoever it is that you are missing has not gone. That they are energy that is transformed and transmuted into another form. They have laid the body down. They're not here anymore in the physical, but they're spirit. And they're still a part of who we are. Science is saying they're a part of who we are physically, and we have to know that we are in consciousness. I don't know where all this is coming from, but it must be some of us need to hear it, myself included, probably. Okay. But this is a time when we get to celebrate. So this afternoon, celebrate whoever it is that you've been missing. Go celebrate them. Enjoy, realize that they, just because they're not in this dimension doesn't mean that they do not exist. That somewhere they are in consciousness. The whole thing with Diwali is about the overcoming of the darkness and light with light. And the thing is that they have myths that they have in the Hindu religion of struggles and challenges that have been overcome. And that's the darkness, the challenges, the difficulties, the wars, and the light of good conquering the evil, the bad, or whatever. And Mary asked the question, where is it? When are you going to stop being at war with life? When are you going to stop being at war with life? What does she mean by that? I think it means something different to each one of us, but that when are we going to stop saying, God, prove me that you exist? Isn't that what the disciples did? Prove to me, prove to us who you are. I mean, when are we going to stop? When are we going to, just sit, be still, open ourselves and be available and know that our every need, desire, whatever it is already fulfilled. And we have not allowed ourselves to trust the universe to bring it to us in a form that allows us to say, yes, yes, this is what happens when I trust the universe. Mary O'Malley, she says, opening up to life means giving up your war with what life is bringing you. Life brings us what it is that we ask for in the process of our not being willing to trust the universe. Ernest Holmes wrote in the Science of Mind textbook, we cannot be in peace. We cannot be in peace until we know that the spirit is the only cause, medium, and effect in our lives. There is no past, no present, and future to it. Evil has no history and has never extended into the being or the experience of reality. So what is he saying there? He's simply saying that we can't be at peace until this is something we know in our hearts. That we know, we can't just know it mentally. We can walk around and say, well, I know God is all there is. How easy that is to say, but how difficult it is to live. So when you find yourself in conflict, because what will happen sometime today, I promise you, something's going to come in your path that's going to challenge you, and you're going to have to look at it and say, well, is that real? Is that capital R reality? Or is that small r reality? That's a condition in the world that I'm dealing with, and I'm naming it something. It's sort of like when people cut you off in traffic. I like to use those because we all have that experience, right? We all have that experience of being cut off in traffic. And people get so pissed off when you cut them off in traffic, and yet they do it to people all the time. Because we're so centered on just, what I am doing. This is my life. Okay? This is my card. Everybody should move out of the way for me. Right? But that's that, we talked about harmony a couple of weeks ago. We're here in the world together. And if we're trusting the universe, if we're trusting God, then we're looking at our lives, and every single day, our lives are getting better. And so we can affirm every day, my life is getting better and better and better and better and better. Every day. You see? And if we do that, what happens? The spirit opens itself to us. It makes itself available because we're saying yes. When you look at the world and you look at some condition in the world and you're saying, well, this my boss is not a very kind person. You've attracted that boss. That boss is there because it is for you. You have put yourself in that situation. And that's what she's talking about in terms of fighting with life. Life has brought that to you. Why? Because you called it forth. And when you start looking at your boss going like, I get along with all my bosses. I don't care who they are. I don't care what anybody says. I get along with now your coworker may not get along with that boss. They may continue to complain. Do you see? But that doesn't mean you have to have that experience, right? Because you are you. And no two houses on the street are alike. Think about that. Drive down any neighborhood. No two houses are alike. Even if they have well manicured lawns, they're not two houses that are identical. And that's just like each one of us is a different person. We are calling for something different all the time. And we can live in house A and have our coworker live in house B, and we can have two different houses and two different experiences of the same street. Stop and think about it. Two houses aren't on the same, don't occupy the same lot on the street, even if one is behind the other, right? I mean, come on. We are all different, and we all have different experiences, and we all have to be in alignment with who we are. And when we are in alignment with who we are, we overcome the darkness with the light of our wisdom, our understanding, our creativity. And what we have is faith that is not without, that is with works, not without works. Then we have the evidence of things that are seen. So this is our life. So I ask you, once again, what would your life look like if you truly trusted the universe? If you truly trusted God? Write it down. Ask yourself that question every day. Do I truly trust God? And how is my life changing? Because it is. Because in God, there is no poverty. In God, there is no disease. In God, there is no sadness. In God, there is no lack of any kind. In God, there is no greed. Okay? In God, there is no separation. In God, there is no lack of understanding. And in God, there is no forgiveness, because in God, the purity of God, there is no requirement for forgiveness, because nothing is wrong. Forgiveness comes when something is wrong and you are trying to right it. So in God, there is no forgiveness. There is only what? Love. And there is no fear. So when we are experiencing any of those, there is a place in us that is not trusting God. We are out of alignment with the truth of our being. So let us stop being so morbid today. Let us lift up. Today's Halloween. Yay! Go put on a mask. Go get some candy. Get ready for the kitties and dispel those ghosts. Okay? Yeah, so like, here's something you can do. Along with giving out candies and stuff, just make little notes that says, thank you for being a wonderful person, and put it in a child's basket. That may be the only thing they see that says you're a wonderful person the whole time. Their parents I'm sure will be very surprised. Oh, who gave you that? Okay. All right, anyway, let us close with a treatment with spiritual mind prayer. Let's join me, would you please, in knowing that right here, right now, right where we are, God is. And that each one of us is unfolding and evolving in a perfectly divine way that is in alignment with who we are. That our lives are perfect, regardless of our stage of evolution. Because there is that place within us that does truly trust God, that trusts the universe. There is that place within us that is open and available to always always, always being allowed, available to the Spirit moving in us and through us and out of us. And I know that because we are breathing, we are here, we are taking a breath. And every breath we take is an acknowledgement that Spirit is moving in us and through us and as us. It is the divine energy that keeps us all going, that keeps us all alive, and allows us to be who it is that we are. And so today we just simply give thanks for that. We acknowledge it, we give thanks, and we walk the path of deep gratitude and thanksgiving for the growing, the expanding, the evolving that we are doing, transforming into not something else, but more of who we truly are. We are more open and available and trusting of the Spirit, and it is allowing us to experience God in a new way, not in a head way, but in an actual way in our lives. And so we rejoice that this is so. We know that it is true for ourselves, and we accept this word for others as well as they choose to step into this light of understanding and of awareness and of goodness expressing in their lives. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I am releasing this word now into the law, knowing that it is done for each one of us in the right and perfect way, in the way that is for us, that aligns with who we are and allows us in our own personal lives, whatever house we live on in the block, that house that we live in is the very best house for us. And it is growing and it is expanding and it's being energized in ways that we never even imagined, because simply we have opened ourselves to trust the Spirit of life that has given us. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is.
Hey, Connie.
Are you ready for another song? Okay, good. Well, I was thinking, if you truly trust the universe, that you would not be afraid to let your heart shine and to go out and let people really know who you are. And this is a song I wrote on the same CD. It's called Let Your Heart Shine. And I really believe that, whoops, hold on. I really believe that our new center, the big step that we're taking out in the world, that's trusting the universe, right? We're really trusting, and we're going to go out there and let our heart shine. And here's a song to celebrate that. And you can clap along and go on. Do something good today. Make the world a better place. Put a smile on someone's face. Shine your light. Someone's in need today, so take your healing there. Show how much you care. Shine your light. Acts of kindness intertwine to change the world by your design. And in the deepest darkness you will find the world will change when your light shines. And this heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, shine, shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, 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 shine. So do your very best today. Manifest your dreams. Show the world just what it means when your light shines. Let your fears aside today. Let your true feelings show. Let your inhibitions go. Let your light shine. This love of yours can open many doors. This heart of yours was meant to shine. this world of sorrow, we're the hope of tomorrow. The world will change when we let shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, shine, shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, 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 shine. This heart. So, we'll be at Fairburn Road in just a few weeks, letting our light shine. I can't wait. Can't wait to see you there. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, 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 shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, 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 shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And this heart of mine is gonna shine, shine, shine. This heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This heart of mine is gonna shine, 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 shine. Let your heart shine today and every day.
Yes, let your heart shine. Thank you, Cynthia. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, Marcia, to you.
Awesome. Good job, Cynthia. I like that song. That song has a nice beat to it. Oh, and Connie, before I get into this, I love the hat, the vacation pictures that were being posted on Facebook. You all were having a ball. So I'm glad that you wore the hat, like the knit hat from Peru. Awesome. All right. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. That music was a little too happy. I just got sidetracked. So good morning again. It's time to talk about how you can give consciously for CSL West Georgia. Okay. So as we always like to kind of point out, there are 3 ways that you can consciously monetarily give to CSL West Georgia. The first way, of course, is to send a check. And for those people that do enjoy mailing a check, be mindful, because soon we're going to change that address to our new location address. So just be ready to, change that as soon as we're ready to receive mail there. So that is the first way, is just going ahead and mailing a check. The second way is if you like to send electronic payments, you can pay through PayPal. And I just want to kind of point out that in PayPal, definitely you can do your general offering that way, and that would be the default way. But if there's any other category that you would like to donate money towards in addition to your general offering, say, for example, the building fund, for those that want to give towards items in the location, you could also choose a different category by clicking that little drop down window and choose the category that you want to, like if you're taking a class or a building fund or, or any other category that you would like to donate to towards outside of your general offering. The third way, of course, is in addition to either mailing the check or using PayPal, and that is just gaining access to Amazon's charitable giving program, which is called Amazon Smile. And we like to mention that because it's really nice to go ahead, and if you're already shopping through Amazon, you could just go ahead and have Amazon access their power of charitable giving. And if you click the link, if you haven't already connected, click the link that's in the chat window and say, yeah, CSL West Georgia is the charity that you would like to have Amazon send their charitable money towards. Whenever you make a purchase with them, Amazon takes a portion of what you spent with Amazon and then donates it towards us. So that's always the third option that we like to mention. All that said, let's all come together and join together for our affirmation. I am grateful for the divine givingness circulating abundantly through my life, my community, and my world. And so it is. You're muted.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you so much. Okay, so Marcia, do you have the video? No? Can you get it? All right, well,
I have it. I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so if you're not reading our newsletter, it's coming to you. If you're here, if you're not on a newsletter mailing list, let us know. Just put in the chat that you want to be added to the newsletter.
Actually, there's a link that they can click and sign up themselves. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. They can sign up. It's in that chat that with
Okay.
the donation information.
You see, I don't read those. Okay, so sign up if you're not, but please do. I mean, because Sandy has been taking pictures, Marcia's been going over making videos, and we've been putting all the updates in there for you to, to see. There's also a page, the donation page, and you can look and see what still needs to be donated. As people donate for the various items, then they come off and you can see what else still needs to be donated. But hey, Marcia and I do the newsletter every week. We spend some time on that. It would be really nice if we knew you were reading it. Okay, so all right, go ahead, Marcia.
Okay.
Hello, today is October 30th, and I just wanted to walk around and show all the changes that have happened this week. We now have our stage is built and it is carpeted. We have the stage chairs already in place. We have our podium that is here. It's plexiglass, so it just sort of disappears. As we turn around, we still have things ready to go. I'm just gonna walk in the back and show you Reverend Sandra's little private area. It's so gorgeous. We've got her table all set up. We've got a little conference area set up for her. And we're just really excited of all the changes that have happened this week. So stay tuned, more to come. Hello, today is October 30th, and I just wanted to walk around.
So as you see, it's going to be warm and inviting, and Marcia didn't get to the kitchen. We're still working on that. So there's still, we're not quite ready to move in, but things are moving along. So as you can see, so, each week, and then, share it with your friends, because we'll be inviting people to come, to church on Sunday. We'll be doing, some hybrid. So we'll be doing online as well as in person. And so some people have not wanted to, do Zoom for whatever reason. And we're hoping that they'll come back now that, we have a space, and they prefer to meet and see and greet, meet and greet. Okay. So we're in the process of getting everything ready. So hopefully it will not be too much longer. All right. Thank you all so much for being here today. And I really appreciate Marty. She had a challenge with the reading because of the way I had to send it to her this time. So good girl, Marty. Good work. And thanks, Marcia, for doing the all of the technical support today, and Sandy for all the work you do during the week, and Cynthia for singing today. And it's good to see those of you who I don't see too often, Madeline and Cheryl. And well, Cheryl has joined our class, so it's nice to see she's showing up on Sunday too. Anyway, it's good to see you all. Ajika, you stay well and healthy, and all that goodness that that you have in your world to bring to you. All right, so let's have our last video.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. Ask me where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lives at my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me. As me, for where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer, here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. And where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me. As me, oh, oh, do-do-do, oh, hey, yeah. Where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe and move and feel, where I sing, where I dance, my dance, wherever I go, where I pray and take and give and leave. God is, life is, joy is, oh, God is.
hatred.
And that's what we get to remember this week. God is, and it is always where we are. We are never separate. Thank you. Okay, our closing. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy your Halloween and your All Saints Day. We go forth today knowing that we are God's blessing in the world. Only good goes from us and only good comes to us. And so it is. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. See you next Sunday. Not before. Some of you have class this week. See you Tuesday. All right.